All right. Hello to everybody. Welcome back live at Drew's house, another edition. Hope everybody is doing well. Well, we had a big Red Sox win here this week. They move on to the ALDS after their wild card win. Big win over the Yankees the other night. And one thing jumped out at me right off the bat. One, that place was electric at Fenway Park the other night. And then this person right here, Michelle Brooks Thompson, joins us. She did the National Anthem for the game the other night. And Michelle, let me just start with unbelievable job. Talk about coming through in a pressure moment. My goodness, it was great.
Oh my gosh, I was so excited to be there last night. I love singing at Fenway, and I've been doing it for about 10 years now. So it was a thrill to be back because strangely, I performed during opening in 2020 and opening in 2021. So last night was the first night where the stadium was back to what I know Fenway to be like. So it felt amazing, and I can only imagine how the players felt last night.
It was almost even a little bit more than that, I thought, because it just felt like watching it on TV. Like it was almost this like post-pandemic. We're never going to take
Yes.
this. We're never going to take this for granted again. It's the Red Sox.
Yeah.
It's the Yankees. It's a huge game. It just felt like I don't know. For a second, it felt like the world was right again.
Oh my gosh, I had that same feeling when I was watching the game and just absorbing all the energy, the crowd, the laughter, the enjoyment on people's faces. And, coming out of the pandemic, it just felt like, wow, there might be some normalcy again. And, what better way than to feel that at the famous Fenway?
Absolutely. Do you feel, you're a pro here. We can get into that, a little bit of your history here in a little bit, but there has to be a level of like, that is not an easy song to sing. I do know that. And never mind in front of all those people, just you, national TV. I mean, my goodness.
It is not an easy song to sing. And I'll tell you, one of the things that I feel like has always been one of the surprising moments is that most people think, oh my gosh, she's a powerhouse singer. She sings gospel, she sings R&B. She's going to riff the heck out of this song, when she sings it. But I'm also classically trained. I have a degree in vocal performance. And so expressing the song, I've always felt my own reservations about how I would sing it and how I believe it's meant to be sung. And I've never looked at it as a pop song or anything to that extent, a gospel hymn or anything. So I try to keep it as simple and straightforward, but beautiful and touching. And so whenever I do sing, I get nervous. Everybody always asks me, like, do you get nervous? I'm like, heck yeah, because, it's such a hard song to sing, and the echo. So if anybody has ever sung at a stadium, the echo is unreal. It's like singing in the Grand Canyon. And you're singing against your own voice. So it can be challenging.
What? And you went for it at the end, man. You had some big notes there.
I did. Actually, a friend of mine last night, she was like, I was thinking, is she going to go for it? Is she going to go for it? Oh, wow, she went for it.
Oh, that's funny. What, when you're in that moment, I don't know if you even, I don't know how long it takes you to get connected to the real world and the Twitter world and all that. I know, I think I was kind of scurrying to get to my TV. I was in the kitchen, I was making a drink, and I heard you. And like, I always love when these moments happen because I heard your version, and it literally kind of took me like, I always try to get there for the national anthem anyway. I think it's cool, but I heard your voice and I was like, man, she's nailing this. And then I was happy to hear the broadcasters come out of it on ESPN. And like, first of all, I think Matt Baskirian is his name, who's I was kind of critical of last night, but with you, he had a great comment where he said, wow, talk about rising to the occasion. I'm sure you heard that.
Yes.
And then I think they had an on-field reporter too. I don't know if it was Tim Kirkshin or one of the baseball guys, and he just like out of his gut reaction just kind of interrupted and just goes, wow.
I heard that.
You heard that? Yeah. I mean, that must have just been so rewarding.
And I look at it, and I was watching the playback today, and I said to my husband, I said, no one was kneeling. And I was watching the players' reactions, and they were in the moment, they were in the zone. Some were meditating, some were rocking to the side. And, there was just like a moment of unity, and looking at our servicemen and women on the field as well. It just felt so beautiful and so wonderful. And I felt in that moment, we were all connected. As a country at that moment at Fenway. And I just wanted to deliver that. And I know with all of the controversy about the national anthem and where it stands for, people and different views, I always look at it as an opportunity for me to sing it and bring our country together, because, I look how I look, and I still have belief in it. I still have faith in it. And last night was just very beautiful.
Players afterwards, you can almost, sometimes I've gone to a lot of games at Fenway, when there's like a really great national anthem, it almost like, not that the players need any extra juice for a game like that, but you feel like they almost got it last night. You flash the camera to some of the players and they're like, damn, all right.
Yeah, it kind of helps. Music moves the soul. I don't care what anybody says. When you get a good song, when you feel good, because music motivates you. I definitely think the players had that. And my friend Jay from the Red Sox, who was out on the field, he hugged me and he said, yes, this is going to be a good game tonight. And I mean, they killed it last night.
They sure did. How much fun was it in the end? I mean, is it work, or do you have a blast?
I have a blast. I love coming to Fenway, and I call them my family, my friends at Fenway. And every time I go, I just enjoy the moment. And last night, just hearing the crowd, hearing the chants, the Yankees suck and all of that. I'm like, yes, I'm home at Fenway. This is what I've longed for. And it's a fun time when you go to Fenway.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a fun night that was. What is it? I mean, I'm sure you've played every sort of venue there is to play, from small little clubs to theaters to Fenway Park. What is like the biggest, you talked about that echo. Do you get like intimidated even by just like the people? I mean, that's a lot of people to be singing in front of. Does it matter if it's 20 or 20,000 or 30 or 30,000 or?
Whatever the amount of people, I always get nervous. It just doesn't matter, because I want to deliver a great performance. And with, again, the anthem, people are like, is she going to butcher it? Is she going to forget the words? I mean, you've had celebrity artists forget the lyrics, on the field. And I'm always meditating on the sideline, like, okay, I'm zoning out the crowd. I'm zoning out the players. And I'm just focusing on what I'm actually singing. And whatever comes out is just a reflection of what's going on the inside.
There you go. So you're in the zone. I've seen some poor versions too. They definitely are right. They do happen.
Yes. And I always no, please don't let that happen to me. I don't want to go viral for singing, the wrong lyrics or forgetting. But, last night the echo was so heavy. It was thick. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why? And usually I have in-ears. And I forgot my in-ears last night, and I just didn't bother to ask. And so I was just like, okay, I know the echo is going to be heavy. And literally the moment I started singing, it just smacked me. And I'm like, okay, here we go.
Oh, wow. So you had to make a little adjustment on the fly.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, it stays for every line that you sing. The echo is right there. And it has this effect where it almost makes you feel like you're slowing down, and you've got to keep your pace, even though you hear that long delay of what you sung before.
Man, what's it like when you hear that roar at the end, though? Because I heard it on TV. I mean, like I said, that place was electric to start even before you last night. Then you came on and it was like, woo!
I love it. And it's unique to me because I've watched other singers perform the national anthem, everybody from major artists to, just a regular person who gets that opportunity. And consistently, there's always such support from the crowd when I sing. And they're screaming, they're cheering. I've had people come up to me who are crying. They're like, that was so beautiful. Like, I can't explain what I'm feeling when you sing that song. And so that just makes me feel good because, again, I feel like music touches the soul. And just singing that particular song to move people to tears or to bring people together in unity, just, one of the service men last night came up to me and said, that was such a pleasure to hear you sing. And that meant a lot because I'm sure they've heard it everywhere, so many times. And it was just a great honor.
Great moment. The Red Sox kept those yellow jerseys when they won their game after game. Any offer for you to just keep going? I don't know. It seems like a good idea to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You'll be there if they call, right?
Yes, I will. Yep. Stay tuned. You might see me coming soon.
Well, let's talk again. We're joined here by Michelle Brooks Thompson. Did the anthem last night, that fantastic national anthem at Fenway Park. And got really everybody's attention around here and nationwide, I think. At least it seemed like it on Twitter. I immediately went to Twitter just to make sure everybody felt the same way I did. That was pretty cool. What a little bit about yourself, though. Give us a little bit of background. When did you start singing? Where can people find you locally?
Yeah, so I've been singing all of my life and grew up in Western Massachusetts. Attended Mount Holyoke College and graduated with a degree in music, vocal performance, and piano. And from there, I just sung everywhere and connected with people. And that landed me on The Voice in season 3. And so that was my start, claim to fame, national fame. And from there, it's just been opportunity after opportunity. And I always like to share the story about how I ended up at Fenway because people don't know it, but I always like to share. So in 2011, they had their first Sing Your Way to Fenway competition. And I went to work and they were at UMass Amherst, which was the last stop on the tour. They went to 6 New England states. And as soon as I walked in the door, my boss, it was like 8:00 in the morning. She was like, you got to leave work and you got to go audition for this. And she's got the newspaper in her hand. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, they're looking for a national anthem singer. And I'm like, okay, but I have to work today. And she said, don't worry about it. Just go to the audition. So I literally got there. And I think I was one of the last people to audition at UMass for the competition. And I can't remember how many of the finalists there were, maybe like 8 or 10, but I ended up being one of the finalists out of 121 people who auditioned and ended up winning the whole thing.
Wow.
And from there, it's been almost 10 years now. And over 10 years, almost 12. And they've just consistently supported me and had me back. And I love going. But aside from that, somehow the anthem has become like a signature, and I'm okay with that because it's allowed me to sing, with the Boston Symphony Orchestra, Boston Pops, other sporting teams. Coincidentally, I was asked to sing by the Tampa Bay Rays a few years ago, and they were actually playing the Red Sox. So I felt like I betrayed my home team because I was singing for the Tampa Bay Rays. But I do a lot of performing on TV, different concerts. I perform at MGM in Springfield for a lot of their summer concert series. And I just performed at the NBA Enshrinement here a couple of weekends ago. So I'm kind of all over the place, but I love going to Fenway, just period.
They have you back. And no singing in Tampa for the next couple nights. That's the only rule.
Can't do that. I was like, oh no, my home team. I can't.
And like you clearly feel the love from the Red Sox organization, but that must still be an honor because there's nothing else going on last night. There's no NFL football. There's the hockey and basketball hasn't started yet. Like there was one game in town last night for every sports fan across the country to watch, and it was that wild card game, and they called on you to get it started on national TV. That you still must be kind of blown away by that.
I was blown away by that. I definitely was like, okay, sure, the pressure's not on. And so many times I've done it, and the anthem hasn't been aired on ESPN. It's been aired on NESN. And so last night I was like, okay, you know, my local friends, my New Englander fans, they'll get to see it. But sometimes some of my other fans across the country don't get to see it. So when I started singing and I saw like 3 camera guys run over, I was like, that's different. I was like, I only have one usually when I sing, and it's Nessun. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep singing though, because I know they're not airing this on ESPN. And the moment I finished singing, like my phone was going off, my husband's phone was going off, my other manager's phone was going off. And I'm like, what is going on? And they're like, you were on ESPN. And I'm like, oh, shoot.
Oh, man, you're like, tell me I sounded good through that echo.
Right. I was like, oh my gosh, the one time I forgot my in-ears, they go national.
Did you know you nailed it though? Because like I think everybody who heard that was just kind of like goosebumps. Do you know yourself? You're like, yeah, I got it.
Surprisingly, last night I was like, oh, that wasn't my best. And my husband's like, you really sounded great. And I was like, I don't know. And then when I found out it was national, I'm like, well, at least you said I sounded great. So, you know, let's listen to the playback. And so I was okay with it. I didn't feel it was my best, but it was okay.
You know, a friend of mine, I have a bunch of musician friends. I actually know a few people that have done the anthem, but the last guy I talked to about this, he was up there as part of his like little trio group. And I always think like, if you're up there with a trio, I mean, that's a lot of pressure too. And the harmonies sounded great, but like, it is a little bit of a different feeling when it's just you. Like,
Yes.
I mean, do you live for that? Do you prefer that actually? Are you kind of one of those people that would rather it all be on you? Or?
Well, you know, I'm not a diva, but, you know, when I sing in a group, I can only account for my level of excellence, and I can't make anybody else, you know, perform at that level of excellence that I desire. So I do prefer doing it myself.
Answer to that is yes. Very good. Okay. Hey, tell me a little bit about the voice. I'm curious. What is that experience like?
Well, it's a great experience. You know, you get all of the marketing that you really can't pay for as an artist. And, you know, you're introduced to the nation, the country. And it's also TV at the same time. But it's a great platform for any artist to be able to get on. I enjoyed my time. They do treat their artists very well. Their contestants. It's not like, you know, American Idol back in the day, you know, making spectacles of, you know, wannabe singers and things like that. I never felt that on The Voice. And even now, having had so many seasons after that, the integrity of the show is what makes me proud to have been on The Voice.
Gotcha. Yeah, because they're all real music. Like, there's no, you're right.
Yes.
It's not like the people that they're trying to embarrass or anything. These are all people.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Interesting. I just wanted your take on that because I don't think I know anybody who's been on The Voice.
You know, and I think the one component of The Voice that really attracted me to it is the blind audition, because automatically that's letting you know we're looking for a singer. We're not looking at what you look like. We're hearing for what you sound like and what you deliver. And we're basing our selection solely on what matters, which is the voice. So I think it's a really great show.
Awesome. All right. Michelle Brooks Thompson, we always end the show with like a minute or two of rapid fire. So I'm going to do that. But before we do that, why don't you tell people where they can find your music or website, anything?
Sure.
Let's go for it. Where should people find you?
Yeah. For everyone who loved the National Anthem performance, we actually released an official version on July 2nd of this year. So that anthem is on iTunes right now, Spotify, wherever you can download it. You can find me on social media, Michelle Brooks Thompson. And my website is michellebrooksthompsonmusic.com.
All right, very good. It hit me with something you said at the beginning of this interview. My dad's a singer locally here on the North Shore, and I guarantee, I haven't talked to him about last night, but I'm going to, because I know he did the anthem, and he loves it when people like do it just like you did, like those kind of straights with their old big notes, and you know, he's just kind of old school like that, and I can't wait to talk with him about it, because I know he would have loved it, like so many did.
Nothing wrong with old school.
Not a did. All right, let's go there though. What is your favorite anthem version of all time that's not yours?
Whitney Houston.
Yep, well, that's his too. Okay. Do you
Yeah,
like?
you can see her right in the back.
Yeah, very nice. What's the what's your take, real quick? Not exactly rapid fire, but like when the I kind of like I've seen like James Taylor do it there. I don't mind like the acoustic guitar versions. Like, does that get a little stray a little too far away for you? Or?
No, and actually, I sung at the World Series. I sung God Bless America back in 2018 on Game 1 and had the pleasure of meeting James Taylor. And I thought he did a beautiful rendition of God Bless America. And it was unique to him. And I think what happens is artists try to make their delivery unique to them as an artist. And so that's why we hear so many variations of it. But like Whitney Houston, she kept it straight, simple, classy, and just delivered it and was done with it.
Yep, no doubt. What's the best contact you've got after last night? What's the best message you received?
Oh my gosh, there's been so many coming through, but I don't know. Like, I think the message that connected me to you to be able to talk about it. I'm not just saying that, but I thought that was so great. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I'd love to talk about that. But everybody's been sending videos. Everyone's been saying, oh my gosh, you represented the country so well. And I mean, I've had comments as far as Alabama, California, Vermont. Like, it's just amazing. I'm glad people, enjoyed it.
It was a really great moment. All right, rapid fire. Favorite city in the country to perform in?
Oh, you gotta say New York.
All right. Favorite venue, not Fenway Park?
Oh man, for singing or just enjoying?
Performing, yes.
I gotta say MGM.
MGM. All right. How about enjoying?
Enjoying. I love Virginia Beach.
Okay. Favorite artist? Who's the person that really got you into music? It was Whitney. I kind of thought so. Just had to clarify. Favorite up and coming artist? Anybody you're loving right now?
Anybody that I'm loving right now? She's old, but she's not really new because I like singers. Yeah. So I do follow Tamia. She's old school, but I really, really like her.
Is baseball the favorite sport, or is there another one?
I like football too.
You like football too? Is that what you said?
Yeah, football.
All right, we'll have to get you at Gillette Stadium then too. Have you ever sang at Gillette?
Yeah, I did. I sung for the 2014 AFC Championship game. I sung in 2019. I sung last year. So, yeah.
You've done it all. What haven't you done?
The Super Bowl, okay? So everyone's like, when are you going to perform at the Super Bowl? I mean, I did the NCAA World Series this year. Like, I've done everything that you could think of. The soccer cups. I've done the Bruins. I've done everything. And so all my fans and followers, they're like, how come the NFL hasn't had you do the Super Bowl? And I don't know. So I told someone today who asked, I said, well, why don't we start a petition then to get me to the Super Bowl? Because I don't know what else, it takes. And so I kind of get looked over every year. And we've been in touch. We've reached out. We've spoken to people. But I think their selection is based on, Grammy-nominated singers or Grammy winners. And so, artists like myself who hasn't reached that level yet kind of get looked over, I guess, maybe. But we'll see. You never know what the future holds.
You don't need Grammys. You got a great voice without the Grammy. Who cares about that stuff?
Thank you.
But yes, I love no hesitation. Super Bowl's next. I love that. That's a fantastic answer. My very last one. We get a lot of a lot of high school kids come on this show too when they're making headlines in the area. A lot of the local stars of the day, if you will. And I'm sure a lot of them are in theater and maybe getting some stage experience for the first time. What would be your best career advice for the person looking to get into that line of work?
Stay with it. Go after it. If you feel that is your purpose, to just go for it. And I went to school. I grew up singing. I went to college. When I started, I went into medicine. I was 4 years in pre-med at Mount Holyoke College and was like, I am not doing music. Everybody in my family sings. I'm going to go be a doctor. And I woke up one day at the beginning of my senior year and I said, my purpose is music. And I literally changed my major to music and graduated. And I say, once you know that you're meant to be a singer, actress, whatever that may be, a doctor, a lawyer, go for it and just walk in your purpose.
Wow, what a story to end with. My goodness.
Yep. I was going to be a pediatrician. That was what I wanted to be.
Man, well, I'm sure you would have done that great too, but we would have missed out on last night. So great job,
Yes.
Michelle Brooks
Thank
Thompson.
you.
Thanks so much for taking some time. You nailed it again last night, and I can't wait to see you do the anthem again.
Thank you for having me, Drew.
We'll have you on again. Congrats. Keep getting those good messages. I'm sure they're still coming in.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Bye, Michelle.